whole uproar with Microsoft buying out Activision. Then basically, what's basically they just bought out the entire company of Activision, and there are still lawsuits going over it. But these are the same people who allowed another company to become a monopoly. But they don't. But they'll complain about Microsoft buying Activision. With Activision and Blizzard, which are one company, okay, they were basically a small puddle in the gaming company. Yeah, they own Call of Duty, okay, but there's still lots of competitors to Call of Duty. There's Fortnite, which is one. There's Ubisoft, EA. There's Nintendo, which Nintendo's not gonna buy them. Square Enix, Sony, and there are other companies that could get into consoles. It's not like Microsoft is buying Nintendo and trying to get monopoly on the console market. Okay, Microsoft is simply just bought. Oh, they also bought Bethesda, but Bethesda doesn't really have a very good reputation anymore. So, you know, kind of like Project CD Red as well. But with gaming, there's a lot of big gaming companies. Activision and Bethesda are two of them. But I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft gets significant pushback if they buy a third company. They probably won't after the pushback of Activision, but basically, earlier this year, Activision was bought out by Microsoft. And, Microsoft is basically saying, we'll own you, but we'll let you to do whatever you want. Okay. Basically. But no one tried to stop Disney, of course. Look at the highest grossing movies of all time. Okay. The highest grossing movies of all time, excluding adjusted for inflation. Well, the top 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the 15 highest grossing movies are Disney movies. That's more than half of the highest grossing movies of all time. Okay. And we could technically count Spider-Man as a Disney movie if we want to. So that means the only movies that are not owned by Disney are not owned by Disney. They weren't owned by Disney at the time. Avatar, Titanic, Jurassic World, Furious 7, and Harry Potter. That's it. Okay. And Avatar is now owned by Disney. The same thing, and Titanic is owned by Paramount. So that means Disney owns 11 of the 15 highest grossing movies of all time. Okay, that is a clear monopoly. Okay, again, this is what people could say. It's of all time. It's of all time. Why do you care? Okay, those movies make more money than others. It's not my fault people don't want to watch, Mission Impossible 6 as much as The Lion King or Avengers. But the fact that Disney owns a lot of the most popular film franchises now should scare you. Okay, the highest grossing movie series of all time. So Marvel, owned by Disney. Star Wars, owned by Disney. Spider-Man, which is basically Marvel. It is technically owned by Sony, but Avengers, Disney. X-Men, owned by Disney. Pirates of the Caribbean, owned by Disney. And some of these series are older. Ice Age, owned by Disney now. Toy Story, owned by Disney. Frozen, The Lion King, also owned by Disney. Basically, Disney owns some of the most popular franchises of all time. They own 2 major animation studios. Of course, their own in-house animated studios and Pixar. They're the only company. They're one of the only. I think Warner Bros. Also has multiple. I know Warner Bros. Has multiple animation studios as well. Not Warner Bros. Universal, which they have Illumination and also have a agreement with DreamWorks, but DreamWorks is not owned by Universal. Pixar is owned by Disney, and Illumination I think is owned by Universal. So, but if you look at but this is of course throughout history. Obviously, that's what you guys will tell me. Throughout history. Which again, some of it is throughout history. Of course. And Disney does not really own all of these series. Of course. But Disney owns a lot of them. Well, how about the highest grossing movies of 2019? The highest grossing movies of 2019. Well, outside of Joker and the Jumanji movie, all of the movies are basically Disney, besides Spider-Man, which is made by Sony. And people are still telling me that's still Disney because it's part of the MCU. So that means Disney owns 8 of the top 10 highest grossing movies of the year. Let's go to 2021. Highest grossing movies of 2021. For domestic box office. Well, Free Guy, that was made by Disney. Eternals, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Spider-Man. Those are the Disney movies that were released. And Disney had an abysmal year, which really shows, because Disney owns all the most popular series. But no one stopped this. No one cared. No one tried to stop this. Okay? Disney owns all of Fox, except for Fox News, for some reason. They own Star Wars, the most popular sci-fi series of all time, unless you count Pokemon as sci-fi. And they own Marvel, which the owner now Marvel is more, with the exception of Batman, is more popular than DC. Obviously by Spider-Man No Way Home making more money than the Batman. And people say, why do you care so much? It's just how much movies make money. You have no control over which movies make money. Well, they really don't. Okay? But the fact that Disney owns all of these huge series and no one cares. No one says, oh yeah, Disney is trying to own a monopoly over the most popular series. Okay? If Disney was to be broken up, okay, Lucasfilm would be an independent company again. Fox would be an independent company again, and Pixar would probably be an independent company again. Okay? And maybe, Pixar could still work with Disney, because they were bought by Disney because they worked with Disney anyways. Okay? Make Marvel an independent company and not be owned by all of Disney. Disney. Which would basically destroy the MCU. But again, Warner Bros. Owns all of DC Comics, so that one could probably stay. But Star Wars and Lucasfilm being entirely owned by Disney is completely stupid. Okay, and other companies like Pixar and Marvel. The fact that Disney owns basically the levers of culture is basically scary. Because what's the most popular things? Oh, it's owned by Disney. Okay, most popular movies, the most popular TV shows, and a lot of, and of course, and there's a lot, and there's a thing. Everything that Disney owns a lot. Disney owns more than you think, as well. Okay, this is everything that Disney owns. Disney also owns Hulu and ESPN. Yep, they own 2 streaming services, their own and Hulu. Okay, they also own ESPN, all of it. Okay, they own a lot of the mainstream media. They own History Channel. They own all of this stuff. Okay, people think that Disney is this, they just make animated movies every once in a while, Marvel movies every once in a while, they make Star Wars movies, and no, they own a lot more than just that. Okay, they own all of Fox. Okay, I don't know if Fox is listed here, but Fox is listed here. They own all of Fox, as well. They own all of Pixar. And of course, a lot of the stuff that is on here is stuff that is in-house Disney, like Disney Corporate, Disney Music Group, Walt Disney Studios, Walt Disney Parks and Consumer Interests. And I think the only company that could be justified being owned by Disney is Pixar, because Pixar is one of those companies that had a long history of working with Disney. So it made sense for Disney to buy them up. up, so another studio doesn't, say, hey, Pixar, come with us. And Disney never sees Pixar again. But even then Disney owns all of this. This is everything that Disney owns. And this here graph. Okay. They own all of this. These are some things that Disney owns. And these are all the recognizable film franchises that Disney owns. And some of this was created by Disney, like Pirates of the Caribbean was created by Disney. Based off the ride. Star Wars and stuff of that. And Disney does not own, and again, it's all the hypocrisy that people have. Okay, Microsoft's going to be able to buy Activision. It'll also create a monopoly in the gaming industry. Yet, they didn't say anything about Disney. They didn't say anything about Disney buying Fox. They didn't say anything about Disney buying Lucasfilm. They didn't say anything about Disney buying Marvel. Okay, Disney owns a lot of things. Okay, same thing with a lot of other companies like Amazon, Comcast, AT&T. A lot of these companies own a lot of things. Facebook owns Facebook and Instagram as well. And try to buy other companies. And Disney tried to buy Warner Brothers too. But they wouldn't let them. The FTC said what Disney was doing was too much. Okay, they were trying to buy Warner Brothers before they bought Fox. They tried to buy Warner Brothers. And maybe you can say Fox was dying anyways as a company. Fox was really not making much money compared to, other companies. But Disney bought Fox so they can have their IPs to put on Disney Plus. Okay. Even though they didn't really need to make their own streaming service because they could put everything on Hulu as well. So that doesn't make any sense. Again, stuff that doesn't make any sense, always existed. So yep, that's basically about this video. Goodbye.